welcome to Scott Williams' Facebook page. I'm Sonia. I'm taking over for a little bit because Scott has been really working hard on his book. It's kind of an odd book. And we're here at the Newseum just kind of looking around, trying to find Scott. Oh wait, I think I see him. Scott, what are you doing?
I was actually trying to put my cover into today's front pages, but they won't let me have a key.
They,
So
you're in charge here and they won't even let you.
Is that wrong? Does that cross a line?
No, I think your books make news, and I think this is a newsworthy book.
And it is about a news person.
So yeah, totally worth it. Tell us about your new book, An Odd Book.
So we've announced the cover, which was designed by my good friend Tom Martin. If you want to actually get a good look at the cover, go to anoddbook.com and you can see which cover was selected. We had about 1,000 people vote on whether they liked left or right, on all different social networks.
So this is the winning cover.
Well, yeah, but I don't want people to see it here. They have to come to the museum and see it in today's front page.
Or go to the website.
Or go to anoddbook.com. So it actually launches April 1st.
Okay. April Fool's Day?
April Fool's Day.
On purpose, did you plan that?
I did.
Okay,
I thought that would be nice, since it's called
nice.
An Odd Book. I thought that would be kind of interesting. But so An Odd Book is about a journalist who was really the very first pop culture reporter who ever achieved great fame and fortune on his own. He wrote about New York. He wrote about Hollywood. He was present in some really key moments in both political, entertainment history. He was best friends with Valentino. He worked for Ziegfeld, so he was really pivotal to some really important times.
And that time range is what?
The 20s and the 30s. He died in 38. So, however, he mostly wrote, his stuff that I liked the best was in the 20s, because that's when he was working with folks who were working on Tin Pan Alley, all the entertainers who were working in vaudeville, and they were all part of a transition from when entertainment was one kind of thing, and it transitioned over to something completely new and different.
So the name Odd, was that really his first name?
That was really his name. His name was Oscar Odd McIntyre.
And he went by Odd?
He went by Odd.
Okay.
His family used to say that it was actually, because it was a family name, they said that it was pronounced Ud.
Okay.
I've talked to only a few people are obviously around who were very small when his wife was still living, and she did refer to him as Odd. That's how she called him Odd.
And was he a little odd? Was he a little kind of like?
He was. He had sort of his personal brand was being somewhat odd, but in fact, he was struggling with a disease called pernicious anemia. That a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people had it back then. It's been completely eradicated now. The causes, the symptoms of the disease are hallucinations. He had obsessive compulsive disorder, really bad depression.
He was totally odd.
So,
right?
Yeah, he had a fear of things falling out of the sky, so he would run from awning to awning. He had a fear of people dusting things off of his suits. Yeah, he didn't like that. But all of those were symptoms of the disease that he really held at bay with no medical treatment, for decades.
And that's all part of An Odd Book.
It's all part of the book.
And so what brought you to this character, this guy? What brought you to his story? Because this isn't somebody that we all know about.
Sure, yeah. I mean, as I was researching for the last book that I wrote on Richard Halliburton, who was from Memphis, I ran across this writer who had written about Richard Halliburton, and so I started doing a little digging, and his writing was actually very, very interesting to me. The way he wrote, what he wrote about, his style was very unique and different, and something about it I just really connected with. So I started researching a little bit more into who this person was, and I went to the Library of Congress and dug through the records and found a little bit more. Then I went to his town of Gallipolis, Ohio.
Gallipolis. It's not pronounced any way else.
As far as I know, it's Gallipolis, Ohio. Now, I'm not...
That's with a Memphis twang.
That's right. That's right. I believe it's Gallipolis, Ohio, and that's where he was from. And so they have some collections there of his memorabilia. And so I went there and just found a lot of stuff. Met a lot of people who also were interested in the topic. For example, the Ariel Opera House there. They're putting together a big concert based on the O.O. McIntyre suite. which hasn't been heard in decades and decades. And the proprietor or the manager, the executive director, Lori of the Ariel Opera House, has been working on trying to find the actual O.O. McIntyre suite music and orchestra sheets, and she finally found them after a search of almost 30 years.
When's that concert going to be on?
It's April 20th. I'm glad you asked. It's April 22nd, and I'm going to be there, of course, at 4:30, long before the concert.
For a book signing?
Well, I mean, more importantly, I'm going to be
but
talking
people want
about
to get your autograph on this.
But I will sign books to people.
So talking about his
story and sort of telling his story, because it is really a fascinating story that he was really on the sidelines of such an interesting time in American history. And so, you know, as I'm observing everything going on in our political landscape today, and of course we here at the museum are very involved in First Amendment issues, you know, as I'm observing the transition that we're going through as a people, it reminds me of what he observed as they shifted their culture then, and all the new technology. They just, in the 20s, there was so much change and so much new technologies and so many different things that were impacting government, politics, entertainment, and he observed all that and wrote about it, and you know, he had a view of things going on that has really completely been lost. And so by bringing forward what he's written, hopefully people can rediscover some of that.
So if people are feeling overwhelmed by what's happening in real life, they can go back into history and read your book.
Right.
To take a little bit of a departure, but also give a little bit of context to what's happening these days too.
That's right.
How can people learn more? Because a lot of things are going to start happening quickly. They're going to want to know how they can get the book, how they can meet our Scott Williams, get their book signed. How do you recommend they do that?
You need to go to anoddbook.com and sign up for the e-newsletter. I'm going to send the first e-newsletter out in the next couple of days. So sign up for it. I promise I won't share your email address and I won't inundate you. I won't call you afterwards and say, did you get my e-newsletter? What did you think?
Some of you, he will definitely.
Some of you, I definitely will. But sign up for the e-newsletter, and you know, follow all the social networks. There's an odd Instagram. I'm calling it.
Oddstagram.
There's an Oddstagram.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's growing really quickly. So follow. Then of course you can click up there or down there or over there to go to the Facebook page.
Somewhere in this area, click around and like.
Somewhere on your Facebook page, you can go and follow the Odd Facebook page. And also, if you're curious about Odd's writing, go to anoddbook.com and look at the blog, because every Friday I'm putting out another blog written by Odd more than 100 years ago. But it's really interesting to hear from him his thoughts on entertainment and politics and social issues, you know, from more than 100 years ago. So it's really interesting that his voice is once again able to be heard on a blog.
So for people who are kind of like, I think we describe them as hipsters, but like people who are really into these kind of things of the past, this is the book for them. It really places them in the time and tells them more. Do you think that folks who are listening to you now should recommend this to those folks?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, anybody who's interested in pop culture, anyone who's interested in celebrity or fame, or even just changes in technology, you know, those are the people that I think would find the book interesting. Or if you just are friends with me, or my family member. Mom, I know you'll buy one. My family members will buy one. But I think a lot of people hopefully, you know, will get something out of discovering Odd McIntyre.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott Williams. This is all about the Odd book. Remember to sign up for the newsletter so you can get the latest in Odd news and find out more about the cover. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sonia.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.